where does Nick Sirianni spend his time? And what I mean by that is not is he at the Palladium or Chickies and Pete's, but is he, is he with Kellen Moore in the offense? Is he spending more time with Vic Fangio in the defense? Is he chatting with Michael Clay watching special teams? We'll get to that, by the way, in the third segment here. But the whole point about the CEO coach, right? In the past, Nick was primarily focused on the offense. Even though he wasn't calling plays, it was his offense. That is not the case here, right? So, he still is the head coach, but this allows him to take a global view of the team. So as someone who has probably spent more time watching Nick Sirianni at practice than Nick is comfortable knowing, I can say that I will be observing where Nick is going.
Chart his footsteps.
Chart his footsteps. There was that at our former employer, one of the popular pieces to do was like 58 minutes of so-and-so at practice. Like you kind of follow every step they do. You can do that. You can follow where Nick Sirianni is, who he's chatting to on like a practice by practice basis. And this is all part of the CEO coach, which I think that term's kind of taken on negative connotation when I actually think it's a positive thing. His job is to be the head coach of the football team, so he's with the entire football team.
You like a good CEO.
Did Bo tell you to say that? I that sounds like a Bo jab there. Yes.
Well, maybe I'm a hipster too as well. No, Zach, I just think Nick is in like such a weird position this year. I mean, even more than what he's doing on a day-to-day basis, just his overall kind of hold in this organization. It's just like if he has a good season, and I think you're actually right. Like Kellen Moore, if they have a good season, Kellen Moore's probably not going to be here next year. But if he has a good season and Vic comes back and, Saquon really works out, like he could be here for 4 or 5 more years. But if they have a rough first month, I just think the noise is going to be ratcheted up for him.
Sure.
Way more than you would think for somebody with the record that he possesses over 3 years. So yeah, he's going to be fascinating.
If I could just ask you this one thing about the CEO coach, because I follow every other sport, right? Mm-hmm. And like in the NBA, it's common that you have, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have one of the assistants working with big men. You have one of the assistants kind of overseeing the offense, one of the assistants overseeing the defense, and the head coach is often like you're managing personalities. Mm-hmm. You're obviously there's ATOs, there's things like that, but there's substitution patterns. But what you are is like you're responsible for the morale of this group of men, right? Baseball managers, it's a similar type of thing. You're managing the game. I need to get Charlie O'Connor in here to tell me more about like what the hockey coach is.
They just scream at him, just more jam.
But my point is that it's not as if like a lot of these coaches in other sports are like instituting their offense, instituting their defense, and so I think it's an overvalued thing in the NFL that because Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay do it this way, that this is what your coach needs to do.
I think that's fair. And by the way, every NBA coach will tell you, like, as much as I like drawing plays and stuff like that, it's like, do the guys like playing for you? Do they play hard?
100%.
And that's look. I think in football that's still a huge deal. The problem is, I think of the 4 major sports, a football coach can have more of an impact on schematics, like you said. Like Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, like they can just completely change the outlook of their team with their schemes and things like that. And you're right, that's not everybody.
Yep.
And I still think getting buy-in from players, especially in a sport that hurts to play, and
exactly,
you need maximum effort, is really important. But I do think there is a little bit of a difference in that a football coach can have more of an imprint just because you're going from a set position every 5 to 10 seconds and you're drawing up a play. But I understand what you're saying, and I do think there can be value in that in football as well.
We all silly like the mayor.